how do I become resilient? Well, how does a tree become resilient? Because it takes in the nourishment, it builds a solid foundation so that when the wind comes through, I live across the street from Franklin Park, lots and lots and lots of trees. When there are storms, not as many, not as much now than before Scott Gerard went over and got rid of all the older trees that were kind of decayed within inside. What happens? The winds blow through, and you go walk through the park, and those trees that weren't anchored appropriately, and these are big trees, they weren't anchored, and what ends up happening, the core was rotted out. So when the wind blew, because it wasn't anchored properly, it cracked and broke, as opposed to some of the other trees that had a solid core that was taking nourishment, and they had, like branches and what have you, they would bend with it because that liquid allowed them to move back and forth, and their core was solid. Their core was solid, and so bingo, that tree is still there, waiting for the next storm to come along. So and so it is with people. And so that's what we do. And that, good analogy for this, because that is exactly what this does. It says take care of yourself from an individual perspective. Then the next thing you do, you jump to family. And so who's in my family? How can I help my family members? How can I make sure that I am solid, that my significant other is solid, that my brothers and sisters and uncles are solid, and that my children and my children's children are solid?
Make sure you watch full video on YouTube. Smith Says One.